What is up, my friends? We are back for Monday's late night news roundup, but we're going to be focusing on Arne Slot's big dilemma. What is it? Well, that'll become clear over the next few minutes. We're also going to discuss the futures of Luis Diaz. We're going to speak about Harvey Elliott, Victor Osimhen, going to talk a little bit around Federico Chiesa, as well as some other players who may leave Liverpool this summer. That and lots more to come up over the next 8 to 10 minutes. But once you've watched the video, if you enjoy it, don't forget to hit that like button. And of course, we'd love you to let us know your thoughts in the comment section. While we kick off, let's start with a little look at the current net spendometer. And as you can see, Liverpool currently have a net spend there of £152 million, taking into account the money that we've recouped and the signings that we've made or committed to so far this summer. So where will that end up at the end of this window? Who knows, but it's a good start. Right, let's refresh with a little bit here from Gerard Romero that said there are people within Barcelona that believe Diaz would be more successful than Nico Williams if they signed him this summer. We also know that Florian Plettenberg said Bayern Munich are looking at Luis Diaz. We know Al Nassr want to go big for Luis Diaz. So, will he be a Liverpool player by the end of the window? I'm going to guess not, but don't rule it out either. Let's say congratulations to Milos Kerkez on becoming a father. Genuinely didn't know that had happened until this, and credit to Liverpool fans world for that one. Yes, congratulations Milos on becoming a father. Now we know why he was so eager to get that Liverpool move sorted out. Now he's a father and he's got a new deal at the greatest club on the planet. You're very welcome, Milos, and welcome to the new member of the Kerkez family as well. Right. Let's start talking about Victor Osimhen for a second, because we know Liverpool are interested, but Juventus are seriously interested in signing Victor Osimhen, said Di Marzio. There were discussions over the weekend between the club and the players' representatives to gain his approval for the transfer. Could they really afford his wages, Juventus? Well, they afforded Ronaldo at one point, so who knows, but it'd be a bit of a weird step, that, leaving the champions in Napoli to go to a club who are, well, floundering a little bit in Juventus. So if I'm Osimhen, I'd certainly be looking for a better option than Juventus at the minute. But keep an eye on it and we'll keep you up to date with what the very latest is. Let's talk about Arne's big dilemma now, because it has been reported that we have no homegrown spots currently available and that any forward signings Liverpool make this summer are dependent on outgoings. Now, that's why I've often said to you that I can see us visiting a situation for Anthony Gordon if we need to bring in a wide player. Again, I know a lot of people are going to like hearing that, but it makes sense. If Liverpool could bring him in from Newcastle, it would be a homegrown player, somebody who's Premier League tested and, again, who loves the club. So let's wait and see with this one. But, again, it'll probably make sense why we're looking at Mark Gay as an example, another homegrown player. So keep an eye on that, but that is going to be a bit of a head scratcher for the Reds, because they're going to move Darwin on to free up that home or non-homegrown spot, I should say. If they move Diogo Jota on, that could free one up. If they move Diaz up, that could free one up. So again, that's why there's been these conversations that Arne Slot and Liverpool are going to have to move a forward on before we can go into the market and bring in another one, mainly, unless we were to find a homegrown striker, which I don't think we will, but that is something to keep an eye on that Liverpool will have to certainly pay attention to. And on that, discussions and negotiations between Napoli and Udinese for Lorenzo Luca have officially begun, according to Transfer Sector. The two clubs have started discussions, and it remains to be seen whether the financial terms will align and whether Napoli will be willing to meet Udinese's demands. And there's also the threats now of Napoli maybe walking away from Darwin Núñez if Liverpool don't lower the asking price. It's not on us to meet our valuation, it's on Napoli to take care of that. If you spent less time flirting with the player and trying to sell your vision to him and more time maybe trying to talk to Liverpool about the fee, maybe you wouldn't have wasted your time. But this piece here from Anfield Sector said, if Liverpool don't lower their demands for Darwin Núñez in the short term, Napoli will move on. Darwin's priority is to continue in Europe. Conte wants the striker for the start of pre-season. Big days ahead for the outcome of this one. Now, they say that his wages could be a stumbling block. Well, if they're paying Victor Osimhen over £250,000 a week and moving him on, surely Darwin's 140, 150 grand a week wage would be one that they could well afford. Same with the transfer fee. You're going to get the money for Osimhen. You've got the money for Kavisha Kvaratskhelia. So crying poor mouth isn't really going to help. If you want the player, you pay what it takes or you move on. So let's see what happens. Now, Fabrizio Romano, speaking with Caught Offside, has said, Federico Chiesa loves Liverpool, but he loves his teammates. if he can move this summer, he wants to do so though, because he wants to return to the Italian national team, and to do that, he needs to be playing on a regular basis. And I think all of us can understand that. We all love Chiesa. We all would wish that he got more chances at Liverpool, but as it stands, that isn't looking like it's going to be the case, and certainly his minutes next season, even if he does stay around, probably be rather limited. So if a deal can be done to move him back to Italy, or at least to move him somewhere that he can play more, I think maybe that will stand him in good stead ahead of the new Italian team manager coming in as well. So, sticking with Fabrizio Romano and caught offside, he said, despite his move to Atletico Madrid collapsing because Liverpool didn't want him to leave on a free, other clubs remain interested in Andy Robertson. The defender has not yet decided what he wants to do. For what it's worth, I hope he stays at the club. I know he's only got one more year to go, but I think he's a better defender than Costas, and I think that he would be really helpful and influential to help guide Milos Kerkez and help him settle at the club. No better person to learn the Liverpool way from than Andy Robertson. And I know that that's selfish as a fan, because Robertson's going to want to make sure he plays. He's at the tail end of his career. Totally understand it if he does want more game time, but you never know. There will be plenty of games this season. Milos Kerkez won't be able to play them all, and Robertson and his experience will be invaluable for me. So if I had a choice, I would move on Costas. We'd recoup more money, and even if we lose Robertson in a year, I still think it'd be more prudent of us to keep him around. So that's what I think for the Andy Robertson situation. But of course, I want to know what you guys think on it. Do keep an eye on the Mark Gay situation as well. We mentioned there'd been a report from ESPN and a few others that there may be a potential, not swap deal, but if Crystal Palace want Ben Doak and Liverpool want Mark Gay, well, maybe that would at least open up the channels of communication. So keep an eye on that one. Again, the PSR window, or the PSR cycle, resets from tomorrow, the 1st of July. So expect the transfer window to really heat up there. And again, just to confirm the main news from earlier on, Liverpool have reportedly narrowed it down to 3 striker options: Victor Osimhen, Hugo Ekitike and Alexander Isak. Varying reports have suggested that Isak has told Newcastle he'd like to leave, that he likes the idea of moving to Liverpool. Graham Bailey has said £130 million would be the upper end of what Liverpool would have to pay. So that is pretty much where we're at with all of that, ladies and gentlemen. The good news is, we'll be back tomorrow, same time, same place. Hope you can join us. If you haven't yet, please do go across and check out the Anfield Agenda WhatsApp community. And also, our last ever show is coming up in Liverpool, the 19th of October. It's an all ages event. Tickets are priced at just £15. After this, we won't be doing any more live shows. So if you want to come and see us, Hot Water Comedy Club, the weekend of the Manchester United game, we'll be there. Myself, Chris Stonage, Jack Gill, Steve Bland, and a musical act as well. Appreciate your support as always, folks. I will see you wonderful people tomorrow. Same time, same place. Until then, have a good evening. Bye-bye.